Hello mga kaguro! So since I was able to make a video already of my timeline and process on how I was able to come here as a teacher in Canada, today I am going to make a video on how you're going or you can get your teaching license or the interim teaching certificate here in Alberta as an elementary teacher. I am just going to talk about Alberta because it's been a while that I got my British Columbia certificate, and then that time there was no PTTC. So as far as I know, I think most of the provinces here in Canada, they are going to let the international applicants go to PTTC or Pathways to Teach first before they can apply to the licensing body. So, but it's different in Alberta because in Alberta, we can just directly apply. So, what I'm saying is, here in Alberta, we can just directly apply our interim professional certificate using their online website. They call it Twins. So, you will know later what is the meaning of Twins. So, if you want to know how to get an Alberta interim teaching certificate, finish this video. Okay, so let's start with this. I just took a screenshot of this. This post was from Miss Nelly Kim. So nandun talaga, kinuha ko to, or I got this information from the Facebook group that I am recommending you to join, the Filipino Canadian um, educators here in Canada. So I am going to put the link to of the Facebook page maybe in the comment section so that you can click that and you can join to that group. There's a whole lot, like lots of information there in the feature posts too. Like there are guides, like you just need to choose your province. If you want to teach in Alberta, British Columbia, Newfoundland, Yukon, Miss Nelly Kim put an immense effort to give us all those information. Like it's very specific actually. So right now I'm getting, or I am going to show you how she put it, or how did she give us the Alberta teaching certification. So ito po yung sabi sa post. Isa ang Alberta sa may maraming thriving Filipino communities. One of the three prairie provinces na talaga nga namang mapapalong drive ka sa laki ng lugar, which is very true. It's very big. So I just saw Ms. Jen Barangan's new vlog. I think she compared Banff National Park to Cebu province, that it's bigger than Cebu province. So imagine, and that is just Alberta, and it's not, it's just, Banff is just part of Alberta. So yeah, just imagine that. So napakarami ring pasyalan na pwedeng mapuntahan gaya ng mga nagagandahang Marine Lake at Lake Louise at ng Banff at Jasper National Park. Mababa pa ang tax dito compared sa ibang provinces or territories. Dahil dito, maraming gustong magstay sa Alberta. Para sa mga gusto pa rin maging teacher sa province na ito na po ang guide para sa inyo. So nandito sa link na ito ang main page kung saan nyo makikita ang overview at list ng requirements na kailangan para sa application ng certificate, in which I am going to show that to you later and we're going to discuss that. So ito din ang link sa baba naman ng teacher workforce. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the meaning of the twins. Teacher Workforce Information System. Twins. So yun yung website na i-click nyo. So dito kayo gagawa ng account at maglalagay ng details nyo para ma-submit ang application ninyo for interim. Okay? So ang mga images na makikita nyo ay mula sa 2 pages na ito. So yeah, she's showing it because she also screenshot it. But before that, I'm going to show it to you anyway. So, and then next is, may mga link din para makapag-apply po sa mga schools Alberta. Ito ang mga possible links. Diba? This is what I'm telling you. Everything is there. You just need to research and read. So everything is given. It's very specific. So first, you can go to alberta.ca teaching employment. You can have education.alberta. Educationcanada.com is like for the whole provinces of Canada. There's a lot of job posting there. And then alice.alberta. There's also like apply.education too. And indeed, there's a lot of job websites. So para naman sa sample ng salary schedule sa Alberta, ito po ang schedule mula sa Calgary, in which I will show it to you later. Kung gusto niyo rin pong i-apply ang Alberta Immigration Programs, so yung AIP, yung Provincial Nomination ng Alberta, at yung Express Entry. So dalawa ang immigration program na pwede nating i-ano sa Alberta, yung hindi pala dalawa for teachers, isa lang sa atin Express Entry kasi ineligible pa ngayon sa Alberta ang mga teachers to apply for provincial nomination. So good luck po sa pag-apply sa Alberta, lalo na po sa mga nasa loob na ng Canada dahil kayo ang may chances para makakuha ng certificate ng Alberta. So especially if nag-student pathway ka at nag-study ka ng ECE, diba? So may early child certificate ka from Alberta at may tinatawag sa dyang PGWP. So yun yung work permit na nag-aalaw sa'yo na makapagturo. At then, if mag-sponsor yung district na pinagtatrabahoan mo or yung school ng working permit, edi yun na yung magiging pathway, diba? So, i-discuss muna natin yung overview on the teaching license before the very specific na inside account. Okay, so sabi dito, to teach in Alberta, you must hold a valid Alberta teaching certificate issued by Alberta Education. Alberta Education is the only body that can assess credentials for teaching authority in Alberta. So that's what I'm talking about. Hindi na sila nag-ano pa ng pathways to teach, directly na talaga sa Alberta Education. So generally, you will need to first apply for interim professional certification so that Alberta Education can assess your educational and professional qualifications. So in which ito yung unang-unang ginawa ko at ito muna yung certification na meron ako, interim professional certificate or certification or IPC. Second, if you meet the requirements, you'll be issued interim professional certification, which allows you to teach in Alberta accredited school and is valid for 3 years. Okay, so kailangan talagang, for me, I think you really need to have a master's degree if you're not a graduate of a K-12 program in our country. It's because the years of education will not be enough. So if master's degree ka, like what I have in Alberta, or like what I experience right now, I have my master's degree and bachelor. I didn't need to take any courses at all. They issued me an IPC right away after they assess my years of education, or my credentials, I mean. So when you meet all the requirements for permanent professional certification, your school authority must recommend you for a permanent certificate. So my IPC ako, diba? So I think I need to have 2 years of experience before I can get like the permanent certificate, because it needs that the school authority that I am right now, they will be the one to recommend me for a permanent certificate. So here you can apply for teacher certification as a graduate from a teacher preparation program from Alberta, another province or territory in Canada, or outside of Canada. However, there are some special considerations to note as you complete your application. So Alberta applicants, if Alberta applicants ka, so i-click mo yan, may mga information that there for you. If you're cross Canada labor mobility applicants, you can click that. But right now, we're just going to discuss the internationally educated applicants. So all applicants must meet the below criteria, in which that link, you can click that link and it will route you to the criteria that they're talking about. So academic credentials will be assessed on a course by course basis. If your program is not applicable to the Minister of Education, you may need to take additional courses to qualify for interim professional certification. Okay, so here we go. Let's discuss apply for interim professional certification. So applications will not be processed until the application fee is received. Magkano yung application fee? It's 250 Canadian dollars. So kayo na po ang convert. Next, applicants have 1 year to complete the application. Applicants must ensure all required documentation has been provided within 1 year, after which time the application will be closed. So ito din yun ang mukhang downside if ever mag-apply ka ng Alberta Interim Professional Certification. What I mean is, if you don't have an employer yet that really hired you already in Alberta, and then you're just going to take a risk to apply for interim professional certification first, and then while also applying for jobs and securing jobs. So you must ready yourself that you might lose that 250 Canadian dollar after 1 year, and if you still don't have an employer that is willing to sponsor you an LMIA to working permit. So yan lang po yung disclaimer ng interim professional certification. Why? It's because working permit, or your like immigration status, and of course for international, it's always the working permit that they need so that they can process the teaching certificate like completely. So yun. Yung akin kasi, di ba, British, I told you already that I have British Columbia, but because I was hired here in Alberta, and then my employer thankfully was willing to wait for the immigration papers. So very timely lang din na the process of the immigration paper and the process of getting the interim professional certification are just like the same in length. So while nag-process ako ng immigration papers ko from LMIA to work permit, I'm also processing my IPC. So nung na-release ang work permit, sinubmit ko sa Alberta Education, sa Ministry of Education ng Alberta, and then pre-process din nila, and then release nila yung yung IPC. So that's what happened to mine. So yan din yung nyo sa na okay lang sa inyo if ever in a year wala pa kayong makita na employer in Alberta. So mawawala talaga yung 250 kasi mag-close siya. See, may expire siya in a year. So yun lang. But maganda talaga. I mean, worth it talaga na maging teacher din dito sa Canada. I'm telling you. Like, I can only speak in Alberta. I don't know with the other provinces, but in terms of benefits, it's very good and satisfying. I'm gonna talk about benefits later on. So let's focus on IPC first. Okay, so for step 1, check your credentials. So all teachers in Alberta require at minimum 4 years of university education, inclusive of a recognized degree and a pre-service teacher preparation program from an approved institution. Employment-based training programs are not recognized. Okay, so the teacher preparation program must lead to teacher certification in the jurisdiction where the program was completed. It must also include the 48 semester hour credits of coursework and professional teacher education courses within a structured teacher preparation program, which is your bachelor's degree. And many are asking if hindi sila bachelor talaga ng education. I think it's okay as long as you're going to take the DPE, or is it a diploma education, that you should have a 48 semester hour credits of coursework in professional teacher education courses within a structured teacher preparation program. 10 weeks of supervised student teaching or the practicum at the elementary or secondary level. Well, for the 48 or yung mga hindi talaga teacher na gustong mag-teacher, I mean mag-change na career, I'm not sure
talaga if ano. So sure lang ako kung teacher ka talaga at ganun kasi hindi ako naka-experience, 'di ba? So at sabi dito 48 semester hour credit. So I mean if you want to research more about it, you can also email them about it too. Just to make sure if you can qualify too. And also again, it's very important po talaga dito yung practicum. So at the end maghihingi talaga sila ng certification from your university to prove that you really did a practice teaching of at least 10 weeks. But most of us it's one semester, so it's kind of like 12 weeks sa atin, 'di ba? So in which very good kasi i-accept din nila. So step 2 ay ito na yung twins. So you must complete an online application through twins. So first is click sign up for an Alberta education account. Step 2, sign up using your personal email. We're going to go through this later on very specifically. So and then step 3, complete your application through Twins. So go to Twins teacher self-service website and click the apply for Alberta teacher certification button from the left-hand menu. Okay, complete all sections of the application, review your application carefully, and submit application on the last page. So you can see there at the top says print the PDF copy of your records. It will may take you several minutes to generate. Do not mail a copy of your application unless requested. Then step 4, after magawa lahat yon, is you pay your application fees. Okay? So application fees are non-refundable and must be paid at the time you submit your application for teacher certification. Applications cannot be processed until the fee is paid. Okay, so that's the rule. Application fees are based on where you completed your teacher preparation program. So if you completed it in an Alberta university, it's only 200. At a Canadian university outside Alberta, that's 225. And outside of Canada, like us, international teachers, we're paying 250 Canadian dollars. So fees can be paid online through Twins using the Visa Debit, MasterCard, or American Express, or by mail. You can also pay it by mail using those payable to government of Alberta, but I don't think we're going to go to that, right? So then, step 5 is to submit all supporting documents. So review your application checklist. So after nyo ano talaga yung lahat, ma-fill out yung lahat ng information nyo, mag-generate yan ng application checklist sa Twins to identify what documents are required. It may take at least 20 business days for documents to be processed and status updates to be posted to your account. And if it's not in English, you need to have a translation for that. So for the translator, you're going to use most also work for or be accredited by at least one of the following approved organizations. So, yan, yung apat na mga organizations na yan. So, sa akin, yung diploma ko, kasi sa UP, wikang Filipino talaga yung nasa diploma. So, I also asked for a translation of my diploma, and then it's just this school that did mine, and they still accepted it. So, yeah. So and then after all of those, you can now receive your interim professional certification. So if your application meets the requirement, you will be issued interim professional certification. Once you receive your IPC, you are formally eligible to teach in an Alberta accredited school. So if your interim professional certification has expired or will expire soon and you have not met the requirements for a permanent professional certification, your school authority may recommend you for an extension or reissuance. So among other documents, you will be required to submit a new criminal record check that includes a vulnerable sector check. So a self-disclosure form must be completed online through Twins, and there is a 25 Canadian dollar fee for that. So again, the IPC is not yet the permanent professional certification. So when you meet all the requirements, your school authority must recommend you for a permanent professional certification. So how can we get that permanent? So we must have, to be eligible, we must have 2 years of full-time teaching, approximately 400 days equivalent in an Alberta accredited school, while holding a valid interim professional certification. So 2 years talaga na experience, na full-time teaching experience dito sa Alberta. Then we can also receive 2 successful formal evaluations based on the knowledge, skills, and attributes for permanent certification outlined in the teaching quality standard. So, and after that, the school authority that you are in, they're going to issue you, or no, they're going to recommend you for a permanent professional certification. And what's nice for the permanent professional certification, look at that, it does not expire even if you leave the profession, which is very good. So now, how can you contact the Office of the Registrar of the Ministry of Education here in Alberta if you have questions, if you have clarifications? So they're open at 8:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, and they're closed in statutory holidays. They have their phone number, they're toll free before the phone number in Alberta, the fax number, and of course their email at teacher.certification@gov.ab.ca, and that is also their mailing address over there. The Register Alberta Education, second floor, 44th Capitol Boulevard. Kaya na magbasa. But yan yung mailing address nila. Okay, so now that's the overview. So the next video, We're going to discuss the specifics of it when you get into the twins account. Okay? See you there.